Hi everyone, my name is Maria and welcome back to my channel. On this channel we talk about spirituality, energy work, higher planes, the mysteries of the universe, and spirit guides. Welcome, welcome. I am so thrilled to see you here today. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're talking about the energy of the pyramid. The pyramid is one of my personal favorite shapes of all time. It is a spatial triangle, if you think about it, right? It's a triangle that was put in a third dimensional space. So in terms of its energetic blueprint, it acts like a triangle. What do we know about a triangle? The upward facing triangle is actually representative of the energy of manifestation. It is representative of the active principle, of the masculine principle of the universe. It is a shape that enables the universe to focus its energy and gather the energy from the base of the triangle and shoot it up through the top of the triangle. Now, of course, there is also a downward facing triangle, which actually represents the great feminine principle, right? And so just by trying to understand the magic of the triangle, as well as the dichotomy of the upside down triangle and the downside up triangle, we could actually get close to understanding the mysteries of the universe. Now, there are a lot of people that are fascinated with the energies of the pyramids. Thank you to Egypt. Thank you to the pyramids of Giza. Enough of us have experienced the magic of the pyramid firsthand. However, today I wanted to offer maybe an interesting perspective, hopefully, to how you can work with the energies of the pyramid and what actually happens inside of the pyramid. So, like I said, energetically, I love to use the energy of the pyramid for a lot of things. The energy of the pyramid, as well as the energy of the triangle, is a perfect manifestation energy. In other words, you can use it to create something from nothing in your life. So that is one of the uses of the pyramid. In the ancient times, our ancestors, who actually got a lot of their learnings from either higher beings, higher dimensional beings, or extraterrestrials, who were beings that had a lot more access to information and knowledge and learning, understood the magic of the pyramid a lot better than we do today. So by focusing the energy of the base of the pyramid into a stream, an upward stream, and by the way, the energy in a pyramid moves only one way. It only moves up. And that is just how it was built, right? There's no other way. Like the energy in the pyramid, the upward facing, is never going to go down. Unless it's a channel, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But as a general rule, the energy moves from the base of the pyramid up. In the ancient times, depending on the energy that you would be able to gather in the base of the pyramid, you could achieve a lot of different things. You could achieve communication with higher planes. So essentially people, call them priests, call them the ones that had access to knowledge, to information, they would often position themselves alongside the central axis of the pyramid, the axis that would enter the tip of the pyramid, and they would be sitting at the base essentially of the pyramid. And then when your chakras are aligned to the top of the pyramid, you're able actually to receive a lot of transmissions from whether that is higher spirit realms, as well as just higher dimensional planes, within the matrix world or the incarnated reality world. Another use of the pyramid in the ancient times was for youth actually preservation, because if you center the energies of divine feminine or the energies of rejuvenation at the base of the pyramid, and then essentially position your body in a way that your body can receive the energy of the pyramid, then what would happen is that this would represent your chakras, right? Or your spinal cord, if you will. The energy of rejuvenation would pass through all of your chakras and would renew all of your body systems, all of your organs as it does so. And so for a lot of beings who wanted to preserve their youth, they would actually sit inside of the pyramids, aligned to that central axis. And that, Obviously, there are also other things that you have to do in order to stay young forever or live forever, if you will. But that was definitely one of the key things. Even today, actually, you would notice if if you do any kind of research on the magic of the pyramid, that you would find out that a lot of people that are in the know would use like this small pyramids in order to preserve vegetables or some kind of fruit. So the fruit that is placed inside of a pyramid structure, whether that is, essentially made of almost any material, is going to stay fresh a lot longer than, another piece of fruit or another piece of food that is just hanging out right next to the pyramid. All I'm saying is the pyramids are amazing, you guys. And if you haven't been leveraging the energy of the pyramid in your day-to-day life, you are really missing out. Now, what I wanted to give you today is a practice that I have been given by my own spirit guides last week, and it blew my mind. And so I figured that I cannot and should not be holding on to this knowledge, and frankly, I should share, because sharing is caring, and so here I go. It is a meditation. Now, I'm not going to necessarily take you through a guided meditation. This is not what this is all about, because this video is going to be 10 times longer if I have to do that. But one thing, I kind of almost want to walk you through what you should be doing and what you could accomplish through this experience. So there are a couple of things to this practice, right? Essentially getting what you want. The essence of this practice is getting what you want via the energy of the pyramid. And how do you do that? So first you would need to align your body, etheric body, energy body, with a pyramid. And second, you need to infuse the pyramid with the kind of energy that you want. And we're going to get into what kind of energies are even available for you to infuse the pyramid with in a little bit. And 3 is being able to take that energy with the help of the pyramid shape, transfer that through your body. So first things first, how do you connect to a pyramid? You would close your eyes, you would get into a meditative state. Very often a lot of people would do that by having to quiet down their mind, right? So we have to quiet down the internal dialogue. Why do we have to do that? Because our thinking minds, our monkey brain, our lizard brain, however you want to call it, is a distraction tool. For as long as you are fixed in your perception of reality, in your perception of the matrix with the help of your mental centers, with the help of your brain, you're really missing out on almost, 98% of energy you could be sensing, you could be benefiting from, right? So you want to quiet down your mind, that's 1. 2, you want to start breathing. So a lot of people really get into a meditative state via the help of their breath. So that is definitely something that could be helpful. A lot of you would close your eyes. You can be sitting down. Actually, for this practice, I usually do it sitting down. Do you absolutely have to? No, but your physical body does, the position of your physical body does shift how the energy moves around you. And so in, the lotus pose or just the seated position on a chair is really the best for this particular practice. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to imagine that your body is located at the very top of the pyramid. By the way, this is a pyramid. We're talking about a pyramid of light in this particular case. You would want to imagine the pyramid of light that you're working with. And at the base of the pyramid, there's going to be a square, right? We're talking about the 4-pointed bottom, because there are, essentially you can have, at the base of the pyramid, you can have a triangle, you can have a square. So for this type of energy work that we're going to be doing, we're going to be using a square. A square is a very stable shape. It is a shape that can transfer energy very well. So make sure that your pyramid of light that you're imagining has a square in the base. And then, right, so essentially you would imagine yourself as the body of light sitting on the very top of the pyramid, which would essentially align your spinal cord, which is the same thing as your chakra pillar, with the very tip of the pyramid. That is the number one thing that you have to do, right? Then, actually, first things first, you can even have, as a next step, you may actually start feeling into your body. Like, don't do anything else after this. Because one thing you would notice is that the pyramid of light, because it is made of light, by default is going to start transferring the energy of light and light codes into your body, starting with your root chakra. So essentially you're sitting on top of the pyramid is what's happening inside of the meditation. And so as the energy is moving from the bottom of the pyramid, and by the way, the energy moves in a spiral motion up, and it always goes out from the very tip of the pyramid. So you would notice, actually, especially if you're doing it for the first time, or if you're experiencing some chakras that are maybe blocked, you would notice in your physical body, you would notice sensations, because the energy of the pyramid is so potent. And the reason it's so potent is because it is focused, right? We're always floating in, the soup of energy. Everything is energy, right? Your energy, your blanket is energy, your cat is energy, your house is energy. You catch my drift. However, the energy is either in its manifested, formalized state, or it is kind of invisible, and as invisible as, call it ether, call it prana, whatever you want, a little bit of both. It is kind of like floating around in a shape that is ready for creation, right? But we don't necessarily perceive it with our naked eye. Most people don't, at least, right? As a general rule. Now, because the energy of the pyramid is able to focus that unmanifested prana or ether, whatever you want to call it, your body is starting to become cognizant of it. Your body all of a sudden is aware that, oh my God, there's something to this invisible world that, perhaps I wasn't aware. And one of the quickest way to feel it in your body is actually through this pyramid exercise. Now, I know a lot of the people, when you start working with energy, your hands is where you feel the energy a lot. And that's why for those people who are skeptics, sometimes you would have these, people on YouTube and TikTok, they're like, just rub your hands and then feel the ball of energy in your, between your hands, all of that good stuff. I certainly went, even way before I had my awakening, I started working with the tarot cards, and I was integrating the different tarot archetypes of the major arcana. I promise you I'll go on a tangent for like 3 seconds, and then we're going to be back to the pyramid. Now I was integrating the Hermit card. And when I was integrating the card, I was holding it in my left palm, and then I was trying to perceive the energy of the card with my right. And all of a sudden, there's like an eye that opened up in my right palm. It was the craziest experience ever that I did not know how to explain, but it opened like an energetic eye, opened in my palm, kind of like the hamster hand, and it started blinking at me. And I was like, holy cow, whatever that is. And I just totally could understand the energy of that archetype of it was the Hermit card. It was so crazy. But where I was going with this is, it's easy to feel the energy with your hands, or easier, shall we say, and a lot harder actually to get the physical sensations when the energy is moving elsewhere in your body. Now, this pyramid exercise, I swear to God, the energy is so potent as it goes up the pyramid that you start feeling tingly, and you start feeling like a little uneasy, like there's almost like a highway within your body, which there is actually, like your chakras are a highway, if they're all activated. I mean, that's what it is, right? They're meant to be a highway. They're meant to be a stream of energy back and forth. And so your body, it's okay if your body feels a little bit uneasy, like, oh my God, what's going on? Because it's an energetic cleanse. What's going to happen is the energy moving up is going to cleanse and remove the debris from all of your chakras, right? So it's going to move up. It's going to cleanse your chakras. One cool thing, right? So first things first, if you just want to play with energy and play with it, the magic of the pyramid, this is a really, really good place to start. However, there are other cool things you can do with this. You guys are co-creating reality, whether you know this or not. This world is your oyster. And I'm here to tell you that if you only know how to play with energy and how to manipulate energy, a whole new world could be waiting for you. Things you could not imagine. So the good news about the pyramid is that you can take the energy the way it comes, meaning you can just take the energy of light and help it, clear your chakras. But there are other cool things you could be doing. So first, you can infuse your body with whatever energy you want. The way you would do that is by imagining that the base of the pyramid actually is saturated with a particular energy. And the way you would imagine that in your mind's eye is right in the center of the pyramid, you would imagine that energy springing up springing to life, growing. What are the potential things you could imagine? You could imagine a fire energy. For instance, if you are, I don't know, if you need courage, if you need confidence, if you need to go make something happen, the energy of fire is really, really productive for you. So you may imagine that at the base of the pyramid there is a fire, and that fire is burning bright, and that is the kind of energy that, you know, once the pyramid is saturated with that kind of energy, it's going to start moving up the pyramid in the spiral motion. As the energy of fire is moving up the pyramid, it's going to enter through the tip of the pyramid, if you're sitting on top of it, into your body. And so the fire is going to cleanse all of your chakras. Next thing, you know, your body is saturated with fire energies. You know, if you're, I don't know, prepping for a speech, if you need confidence before the exam or an interview or what have you, you know, infusing your body with fire energy is actually a really, really good idea. Another potential here, we could infuse our body with the energies of water. So you would imagine that at the base of the pyramid, there's a pool of water, right? And in the same way, you would, you know, stay here for a little bit, for a few breaths, and you would wait for your pyramid to be filled with the energies of water. By the way, it can be any kind of water. Water is a really, really good, wonderful medium to hold on to any kinds of energy. It could be water infiltrated with love. It could be water infiltrated with success. It could be water infiltrated with abundance. Whatever you want, right, could be housed in that water. And so in the essence, right, if you're sitting on top of the pyramid that contains this sacred lake of waters of love, right, then your body has no other choice but to start absorbing those energies. My cat totally wants to make an appearance in this video. Where is she? Hold on. What are you doing? Look at her. Oh my god. I have a cat that, you know, her and I go way back into Egypt. So I am totally not surprised that she really wanted to make an appearance during the pyramid video. Anyhow, I hope you'll forgive her curiosity. Another thing, so I work a lot with the energies of the Divine Mother. So I work a lot with the energies of Divine Femininity. One of the sacred symbols of Divine Femininity is the flower of life. For those of you that don't know what the flower of life is, maybe we'll put like a little picture in this video, but you can also Google it. It's a pattern, it's a geometric pattern of essentially circles that are coming together, forming kind of almost like a floral type of sacred arrangement. So if you want to elevate your energies to the levels of the Divine Mother as much as possible, you could actually choose to place the pattern of the flower of life into the base of the pyramid that you're sitting on top. Child, I love you, but you're being really distracting. Okay, she's the best. Okay, so you would imagine that the flower of life pattern is at the base of the pyramid. And then you really want to make sure that the pyramid is saturated with those energies, and then the energy is starting to go up, 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 all the way through your chakras, right? All of a sudden, you are saturated with the energies of the Divine Mother. What could this be good for? Any type of healing. Physical healing, emotional healing, mental healing, energetical healing, any type of situations where you need to de-stress, release, surrender. Anytime you're working on attracting abundance, anytime you're working on attracting anything, right? Because essentially the law of attraction is Divine Mother. The law of attraction is the principle of magnetism, right? Of drawing things to you. All of those are the energies of the Divine Mother. If you're looking to open up your heart to love, that is also the energies of the Divine Mother. So all of that is gonna be available to you through the pattern of the flower of life. Now, another thing, really, really cool thing that you could do here is, you know, as you're being saturated with all of those energies, we can use the power of an upside down pyramid that is almost like coming to you from the skies, right? So you would imagine, right? So like this is an upward facing pyramid and you're sitting right here, right? As like this little child, this little baby. I want you to imagine that there is a pyramid that is like upside down like this, right? And the base of the pyramid is here, and the tip of the pyramid is here, essentially. And the tip of the pyramid is right here, so it's aligned with your crown chakra, the very top of your head. This type of pyramid is going to enable you to receive any type of energy that you would like from cosmos or from source, right? From the absolute. So essentially cosmic energies, higher dimensional frequencies, whatever you want. In the same way that you would need to first saturate the pyramid with the energies that you want for the upward facing pyramid, the same principle works for the downward facing pyramid. But it's almost like you would imagine that, let's say you want the energies of abundance to come to you from higher planes, right? You would imagine that there's like a waterfall that is right above the top pyramid. And that waterfall is starting to pour water straight into the pyramid, like golden water. For instance, if we're talking abundance, it's generally golden water. And that water is starting to flow down again via the spiral. It is a spiral movement. And then the moment it reaches your crown, your body starts taking all of that in, and that water goes down from one chakra to the next, to the next, to the next. The coolest thing ever is activating both pyramids at the same time. Then you get crazy energy movement from down up, from down up and from up down, and that is just like the most amazing experience. I don't know if you guys know what a Merkaba is. Merkaba is, one of our light bodies. It is also, it's actually translated from Hebrew as a chariot. It's actually a body of light that enables us to travel across dimensions. The Merkaba is, it's also, if you guys know what the Star of David is, it is essentially two triangles that are intertwined. It's a downward facing and an upward facing triangle that are forming a six-pointed star, Star of David. So that is essentially a flat representation, or 2D, second dimensional representation of a Merkaba. The reason I'm bringing this up is for those of you that worked with the energies of the Merkaba, this exercise with the pyramid is kind of what it feels like. The Merkaba is pretty insane. So you would, though this is not an episode about the Merkaba, but essentially you would rotate, your body, you would place it inside of these triangles, or inside of a Star of David. And you would rotate one triangle clockwise and the other triangle counterclockwise. And the stuff that's happening in your body, in the physical body, in the physical, feels like you're gonna totally can take off and fly away. This energy movement with the pyramid, it kind of feels like that. So I find this to be a very intense, very beautiful, very activating exercise practice. It totally makes me feel energized. I'll give you a quick example of how I use it in my own practice. So I'm a writer. I channel books is what I do. I guess I write them. I guess you can call me a scribe, like a spiritual scribe. I channel books. I already wrote one, channeled one. It's on Amazon right now. It's called 72 Keys to Manifestation, or An Ancient Path of a Modern Day Alchemist. That one came to me from Spirit. I'm channeling another one, which is all about divine feminine. Now, I currently live in the United States. I live in Florida, which, if you live in the United States, you'll know exactly what I mean if you've been to the United States. And if you're, quasi-spiritual or, spiritual, you would know what I mean as well. The United States is a very masculine country. It is a country where money runs supreme. That's why you have your American dream. It's the capital of entrepreneurship. It's, the financial capital. One of the financial capitals of the world is in the United States. And there you have it. So what I'm telling you is this is not the great place to download a book about femininity at all. And I know this because when I first started birthing this book, I was in Tulum in Mexico. And literally, the thing with channeling, right, especially channeling something that is exceptionally high frequency, is you have to get really good at connecting to the right level of energies. And that could be challenging if the energies that you're channeling are close to source. And so this particular book that I'm writing is all essentially it's downloaded largely from the Divine Mother or the female face of Source. So it's pretty high energies. So, when I am in Tulum, You know, I like riding on the beach, so I would go to the beach, you know, I would sit, and because it is such a wonderful divine feminine vortex in Tulum, I connect within like 3 seconds. And I'm like, I'm in stratosphere and I'm like a crazy munchkin typing away on my keyboard. In the United States, the process used to take me like an hour. You know, I'd have to sage, I'd have to like, you know, work my crystals, all that fun stuff. And it was really challenging because if it takes me to get into the zone, like an hour is all, like it takes me to get into the zone, I cannot be as productive as I'd like to be, right? And I like optimizing my chances. I like moving fast, is, you know, if that's the one thing that I like the most is speed. Once I started doing the pyramid exercise, so what I do is I do the upward pyramid, I sit on top of the pyramid, literally takes me 2 minutes to connect to where I need to go. I use the energy of the flower of life in the base of the pyramid. I align myself with the top of the pyramid. Literally 2 minutes in, I'm in stratosphere. Literally, you guys, trust me, it works. I hope you try it out. If you do, let me know in the comments how it went. I'm super curious. You know, are you having any physical sensations? Are you having any energetic sensations? Let me know. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you try it, and I'll see you in the next video.